straight down here. Why didn't you warn me?
I was trying to.
He saw me does live here.
You know what? I'm gonna make a break for it. What are you doing? I speak cat. Trying to reason with this thing.
Nobody speaks cat.
You're just making stupid sounds. Keep running.
Yup, couldn't agree more.
Barkley, talk to me.
Come out to the coast, have a few laughs.
Yes! Lizzy, first and foremost, I think I have. What was it like working with a cat of that size?
It was actually pretty fun. The cat itself was always mad, and it took a lot of takes.
Really?
Yeah, it actually took like 10 takes to actually get it to even stare at us. Like, he was very grumpy. He came from a shelter, so I feel bad for him. So it was nice, but he was a really cute cat.
Fair enough. Well, I want to get deeper into Tiny Christmas. It's so much fun. I got a chance to watch it. I heard rumor that you haven't seen it in full yet, but
I haven't,
but you
actually.
made it, so you're the foremost expert on it, right?
Yeah, so I've done it like 20 times.
Fair enough. So we'll get into that in a second. But first, just how are you doing? How's Lizzy? How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm not bad. I'm doing all right, especially for a Monday. And now that you're here, pretty good. I'll tell you that.
Thank
It's
you
very
so
exciting to
much.
have
Thank
here.
you.
I saw just recently Halo Awards. You just did that, right? That was a lot of fun.
Yes, that was super fun.
How'd that go?
That was awesome. I especially love going to that because we were celebrating kids that were like bettering the world. So it was really awesome to meet them. Their names was Reagan, Caleb, Andrew, and Zoe. And they were all like, they're doing these amazing things to like help better the world. So it was so cool to be there and support them. So it was such a happy event.
Such a great event. The great Nick Cannon, right?
Yeah,
kind of
he's
the mastermind behind all of that.
The best way to describe him, he's Nick Cannon. He's like
it-
amazing, yeah.
Self-defined.
Yeah.
Nick Cannon, if you don't, is Nick Cannon.
Yeah, I heard, was he actually here? I
He
saw
was
his
here.
picture on the
Yeah, he
wall.
was here
That's
a
so
couple of times.
awesome.
He's a friend of the show. He's a really
Aw,
good
that's
guy.
so sweet.
Yeah, he's awesome. So that was a lot of fun. You love doing those kinds of things. You hang out with a bunch of fun, crazy people you don't normally get to see. Was it a bunch of familiar faces, new faces? Walk me through the whole event. I just want to get a snapshot of your time at the Halo Awards.
Well, it was super fun because, of course, I was there with my friends and like shooting stuff backstage. But it was cool because we were in New York, so I was meeting cast and crew from New York, which was super fun. And they're all so sweet, and hopefully I get to come back next year and do it again because I had so much fun.
Do you get to come to New York often? I think I saw a post a while ago on Instagram or something, but I don't
Yeah.
think you're here much because you work in LA? Or?
Yeah, I'm fully like based in LA now, but here, this is only my second time coming.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so it's amazing. It's so fun every time.
Is there like a quintessential like New York thing that you really look forward to and coming to do or see, or are you just like trying to still take it all in and experience like New York?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's so nostalgic, but I definitely take a lot of pictures to post and stuff like that.
For sure.
So I'm always packing outfits and I'll like change during the middle of the day to take an Instagram post or something. But I just love sightseeing. Last time I was here, I went to the 9/11 memorial on 9/11, which was so cool, and it was so awesome. Like pay respects there,
For
especially
sure.
like during the memorial and everything was super cool.
And they've done a beautiful job with that.
They truly have. I drove by it on my way
level.
here.
Yeah, for sure. And so how much longer are you with us in New York? When do you head back?
I actually head to Minnesota tomorrow.
To Minnesota? What are you doing over there?
I'm doing We Day.
Oh, so cool. Tell us about We Day.
We Day is an organization where it's like kind of like Halo in a sense, but it's people that give speeches and just do all these amazing things in our world. Like in order to actually be in the audience, you have to do one global and one local thing, like a charity event or something. So it's so cool to be there because like it's so environmental and happy and everything. So I'm giving a speech there and I'm very excited for it.
That's super exciting. You're giving a speech. Do you give a lot of speeches? Are you nervous about giving your speech? You're a performer, but we've seen you, mostly on, scripted shows, things of that nature.
Yeah.
So like, how are you feeling going into this speech thing?
Yeah, it's actually like it's cool, but it's kind of like nerve-wracking
right?
at the same time, because usually someone gives me a script and I memorize it. Like this is really the first time where I'm kind of having to come up with it on my own. So
Hashing it out.
yeah,
Figuring out all
I'm
that
very
stuff.
excited for it.
Well, it's very exciting. Yeah, I think you're obviously you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be great at it. No reason to be
you.
nervous. But that's very exciting. I'm curious. I always love, especially someone with your like massive fan base, when you use this power for good. Like between the Halo
thank you.
Awards, you're doing the We Day thing. Is that something that you had always hoped to do as you were sort of climbing this ladder and figuring out your path? And you're like, I can't wait to kind of give back, sort of thing.
Yeah, I've always wanted to use my position for good, like charities and stuff like that. So it's super cool to be able to use my position to bring light to organizations and like things that may not have like been as recognized. And I'm always happy to like support like charities and organizations. So it's so cool to be able to go to We Day and Halo like within the same week. So
Yeah, you gotta be having like a really happy week. Like
yeah,
really
I
good
know, it's
feeling.
just such a positive, happy week, and especially like going to these things to support good. Like it's so positive, and the people there are so amazing. So it's always good to like be in a room full of people that like share the same like looks on everything as you, like just being kind.
For sure. Well, I'm very excited to hear about that when you get back and when you wrap that up. Let's get into this movie. Let's talk about
Yes.
Tiny Christmas. It's so much fun. I love Christmas specials. I love that we're getting close to that time of year.
Me too.
What's your favorite Christmas special? Before we get into this, let's do that.
Rudolph.
Rudolph?
For sure. Yeah,
100%?
and yes, for 100%.
How many deep cuts do you go with the stop motion? Do you do Rudolph? Do you do Santa Claus is coming to town? And then you got to put on, it's not stop motion, but you put on Frosty, and it's just like it's a weird left turn.
Yeah.
It's like now we're in animated.
I mean, I love the little kids movies, like stuff like that, and I love Disney movies. I like the princess movies. They're so they're so nostalgic and everything. So I especially love Christmas time. I mean, it's such a happy time of year. Like it's like cold and Christmas lights everywhere. It makes me so happy.
Yeah, there's something about it. As cold as it is, like you can find a way to feel warm, like with all the fun, like
I know,
it reminds
yes.
reminds you of a simpler time.
Yeah.
You know, many years ago for you, I'm sure, right? When you Christmas was many years ago.
Yeah,
as
the
a
good old
child.
days.
Yeah, the good old days. You ever watch any Muppet Christmas specials? I'm just gonna go into. You're familiar with the Muppets at all? I know this is like.
Oh, well, I haven't seen any of the Christmas specials. Do I need to?
No, Muppet. I'm gonna say right now, Muppet Christmas Carol classic.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it.
And then I'm gonna give you a deep cut, and this is gonna get real obscure, but I'm telling you, it's worth it. Something called Muppet Family Christmas. This was on the air. I wasn't even born yet. This is an old special, but like it's the like legit Jim Henson. It's got everybody. It's got Big Bird in it. It's got Fraggles in it. It's got Muppets you never heard of. It's got everybody.
Oh
It's
my
classic.
gosh.
Muppet Family Christmas. Look it
Okay,
up.
I'm gonna watch it
That's gonna go on the list. I'm telling you right now.
for sure.
Awesome. All right, back to your Christmas special. How'd you get involved in this? How'd you get involved in Tiny Christmas?
Well, this was actually like super cool for me. Nickelodeon presented it to me, and the first time when I read my character Barkley, because Barkley's very crazy. If you haven't seen,
crazy.
it's a huge jump from Dawn. So when Nickelodeon presented it to me, I was incredibly excited because I get to play this character that is so different than the character that I play on a daily basis. So being able to like kind of break this character down and like figure out the technicality, and I have a scene in this movie where I have to dance really awfully. So I'm very excited for that, to see that, because I don't know if it's from the clip from The Office where the girl is dancing bad, or
Are you? Well, there's a in pop culture. There's a whole list of people dancing bad, but there's Seinfeld had Elaine
that's
who
what it
danced
is.
with
That's
the thumbs.
what it is.
that
Yeah.
what
So I
okay.
looked up that and I was watching that because I wanted to like
That's
nail
a great
it.
point of reference.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so bad it's good. I mean, that's like the best thing that I got to do during this. So I was definitely studying up and like kind of breaking down this character, because Dawn I just play on a regular basis. Like there's no like background homework that you have to do. So this was
Right.
really cool to do this character.
Yeah, I can imagine that's fun after a couple of years of playing the same character. Barkley here is it's not the same as Dawn, but there's little elements that you've sort of cranked to 11 and gotten to
Exactly,
amplify and be
exactly.
a lot more fun and wacky with. But what I think has always been fun about your characters from day one is that they are all like sort of this, I don't want to say goofy, but there's a fun
Yeah.
sensibility that you don't
Like
take
there's
yourself.
a comedy.
There's a comedy there,
Yeah.
and I wonder how much of that are you bringing in? How much of that is Lizzy just kind of amplified a little bit? How much of you do you put into these fun characters?
Well, I would definitely say I'm like kind of like Dawn's twin. I mean, we're both very similar, and I love playing Dawn. She's amazing. She's like so easy to play because it's like playing myself. But Barkley is kind of like my alter ego, like when I'm with my friends and we're just like hanging out and having a good time, like it's definitely like joking around being Barkley.
I
So I'd have to say I'm like a mix of the both of them.
You're like a good mix.
Yeah, I'm a
of all
good
that.
mix.
That's good. That's a good answer. I'm curious about. So we were talking about your comedy. There's a lot of physical comedy. You do a lot like your
Love
silly
physical
dances.
comedy.
You do some
Yes.
pratfalls. There's a really funny in like little screener link that I got. There were outtakes at the end, like only a couple of them. And there's one where you don't even make it into frame. You hear something fall. They're like, Lizzy, are you all right? And you're like, I was trying to jump on the couch and I missed it or something like that.
Yes. Yes, I remember that.
It was really funny to me, and I'm curious, like, where does the physical comedy inspiration come from for you? Like, what when you were growing up? Who made you laugh? What are you thinking of when you're doing all these silly moments and like movements and stuff?
Yeah. Well, I was raised as a gymnast, so I have the flexibility and stuff like that, which is cool to play with. And I'm always begging the people on set, like the producers and stuff, to give me stunts because I love stunts so much. They're like physical comedy.
Yeah.
It's comedy without having to say anything. It's just like the physicality with like moving your body in a funny way. So I'm always asking for stunts and all that stuff. But I love physical comedy so much. And like I said, the Seinfeld clip. That's where I definitely I've had to look at that a few times for like stuff for Dawn even as well because there was an episode called Scaredy Dance where I was scared to go to this dance because I was an awful dancer. So they referenced that clip for me to watch as well. So I watched that, and that's like it always kind of just goes back to Seinfeld pretty much.
As most comedy does.
Yeah.
Do you remember as a kid, like certain things that like maybe always made you laugh or you always really enjoyed? Like, do you ever watch like I don't know, like Jim Carrey movies or stuff like that from like
Yeah, Dumb and Dumber is
Dumb
a
and
classic.
Dumber?
Yeah.
I mean, that dude's like made of rubber. Like he's so amazing and like the physical comedy that he can do. You know, I don't think we've seen a lot like that since. Talk about your castmate and talking about working with Riele and like.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, you can tell. You guys are obviously like it's funny because the story doesn't permit you to start off as best friends.
Yeah.
But there's still like a best friendy vibe. Like you can tell it's coming. Like oh, they're gonna come around. They,
Yeah.
They like each other. Like,
Yeah.
So where did that come from? Is this like I think it's like your second or third time working with, or no? Have you worked with Riele before?
This was actually the first time we worked
No way.
together.
First time?
Seriously, like we went into each other. We went into the movie only having seen each other at parties and just like briefly saying hello. But during this movie is when we like became really close and became really good friends. Like we literally went in not knowing each other and left being best friends. It's so cool. It's so cool what Nickelodeon movies do to you.
It brings these people together. So that explains, because I swear I was doing research, not stalking. I saw on your Instagram again, you guys had like Halloween, you were trick-or-treating together, is that right?
Yeah.
You guys were, first of all, looked like it was tons of fun. Was it a good night?
Yes, it was a super fun night.
Did you guys actually trick-or-treat? Did you go like door to door and get candy? Because you had little bags.
Yeah, we were a little afraid that the parents would get mad at us because we're a little old for trick-or-treating.
That was going to be my question is where's the cutoff?
I know,
Like,
but they said, and there were some houses that had signs outside that said kids only, like only children. I'm like, but where does it cut off? I mean, I'm still a child at heart, so.
There you go.
Can I not trick or treat still?
And I think also, too, you guys put in a supreme amount of effort into the costume. I think that should speak to your eligibility for free candy.
I mean, her, like, Riele and Raya's, her sisters, like, their makakeup and everything was amazing.
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
seriously.
you were rocking that. It was a wig, right? The silver.
Oh,
I can imagine you dyed your hair stark white and silver for an evening. No.
Yeah, I'm not the best at wigs. I'm not very used to them, so
Pulling it off.
that wig was snatched by the end of the night.
It was the perfect
off.
like perfect Halloween wig. It was perfect. Like it looked like it was a ton of fun.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's not your it's your first time working with her. Are you guys like teaching each other stuff maybe because you both have had like your own like successful runs on your own shows and you're doing your own thing and finding your own paths as actors. Were you learning from each other as well as just kind of clicking here and there?
Yeah. I have to say, Riele does really dry humor really well.
She is
like,
great at that.
She's amazing at that. And me, on the other hand, like I'm very like I'm like a baby doe, like with my comedy, because I'm so clumsy and like
baby doe.
Yeah, that's what the dialogue coach calls me on the show.
Perfect, yeah.
But I would say like she's really good at like cracking jokes, but like saying it completely dry. But me, on the other hand, I'm very like I'm like saying it with my face and everything. So I feel like we both balance each other out in that sense. And same with me, like being all weird during physical comedy. Like I feel like we both learn from each other because she coming from her show, like her character Charlotte, like she does dry comedy a lot. For sure. But Dawn does a lot of physical comedy. So I feel like we both learn from each other, and being able to work with each other was really cool because we were both like kind of taking ideas from each other.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, you guys both are kind of that match made in heaven because she is like the perfect straight man to your like zany comic person. Like
I know, she's like,
that pair.
yeah, she's like the chill, and I'm like the crazy.
Well, yeah, that helps to like sort of amplify what you're doing, right? It like almost puts a magnifying glass on it. Like you guys are a perfect team in this.
Thank you.
Was it kind of fun? I imagine this is your first time working on these sets with like giant boxes and oversized
Yes.
props and
Yes.
oversized sets. Was that exciting? Was there? Because I know there's probably a lot of green screen, of course. They're making it this big.
The entire movie was
green screen. But were there like fun like giant like props and sets that did like kind of surprise you?
There was, yeah. The giant peppermint.
Oh, the giant.
Yes. It was so funny because the director, John, I had a 15-minute conversation with him about how I was going to lick the peppermint. Like, I was like, should I lick it like this? Like, this is the type of in-depth conversations we have because everything has to be so precise. So, like, literally a 15-minute conversation. And then he's like, no, do it like this. And then he licked it. And I was like, but what about this? And, like, we just went back and forth. So it's super cool because we also got to give our opinions and ideas to like contribute to this, but as far as working with the big props, it was crazy, like walking in and seeing the bottom of a lamp that was huge, like bigger than, and like sitting on it and all that stuff. So it was super like crazy to walk in and see all these very large props and work with them.
That's really exciting that you mentioned that like the director was listening for ideas and input. Is that something you don't, or is that something you get a chance to do on your other projects, or was this kind of like the first time you ever got to say, I think it would work really good if we did this?
I have to say this was probably the first time because we usually on the show, like I said, it's like you get a script and you just memorize it and you get input from other people. But on this, since it was just me and Riele in scenes pretty much the entire time, we kind of got to give our input and like we got to try all these different takes because like since we were on green screen the entire time, we didn't really have props or anything to like play around with. So we were always giving our own ideas for physical comedy and stuff like that.
You're playing with like a tennis ball on a stick sometimes, like, having to figure all that out.
Literally, they did that so much.
Is that what you're?
Yeah, and then we had a little laser pointer to like look at the ceiling when she was on top of the table, and I had to look up at her.
And now who's the cat, technical. Right? Now who's in, like that's so funny to me. They're using a laser pointer to like, or just like keep your attention and keep your eye line and stuff like that. Oh man, that's so crazy. Well, you can't tell. I mean, like the effects, everything blends together seamlessly, and it really is like an awesome, totally fun, super exciting Christmas special that I'm really excited for everybody to get a chance to see this year.
Thank you.
December
Me too,
2nd.
because I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited for you to see it. I think more than anybody else, I think you're really going to like it.
Yeah, I can't wait.
December 2nd on Nickelodeon is Tiny Christmas. We're getting ready to go to audience Q&A in a second. But also, season 4, Nicky, Ricky, Dicky, Don, next year, 2018. Very exciting. I was looking, like I said, doing my research, and I found about a year ago, Nickelodeon posted your audition tape from this show.
Yes.
First of all, you're so tiny.
We were so little.
Guys, we're so little.
So tiny.
It's crazy. But I'm
the actual like set age was going to be 13.
No way.
But then we came in at 10 years old, and they were like, we'll go out on a limb.
And
we'll try something new. And then now we're 14 now, but we're going to go with 13, 14-year-olds. Like it was going to be. They were going to cast older kids.
That's a real big testament to like where you were at as like an actor and like what you were showing them. Like this is going to work. My big question is, what do you remember about that day? I imagine this was one of like the bigger auditions you had gone on.
Yeah.
Were you very nervous? Can you tell us about that day, about that moment leading up to that tape?
Well, there's a funny thing about me. I'm really not the type to get nervous. Like, there's never really been a time in my life where I've been, oh my gosh, I'm so scared, what am I gonna do? Usually I just go in and I kind of just give my all because, I mean, we were in the Nickelodeon animation studios. Like, it didn't get any better than that. So I was like, I'm just going to leave it all out on the table. And I remember going in and being so crazy and afterwards, like, doing all of my impressions for them. Like, they were like, do this impression. So I was like, do all my impressions of different voices and stuff. And, like, they were cracking up because it was coming from this, like, pint-sized little kid.
Do you still do any of those impressions? Do you still?
Oh.
Putting you on the spot. Sorry. Okay, different question. Did you practice them at home, like in the mirror and like all that stuff, like before the audition?
Actually, no. I did. I came from theater, so I was always playing.
You were always,
I was always playing guys, though.
Really?
I only played like 3 girls out of the 26 plays I did.
So that's like where your dude voice comes from. Like you had tons of practice. Like.
Yeah, I had tons of practice.
So
I played
funny.
lots of guys, which is it's a little strange looking back on it now, but oh well.
Hey man, that is the ultimate role, right? You got to immerse yourself in something you're completely unfamiliar with and act your way through it and be convincing.
Yep.
Some would argue you were successful at that. So here we
Thank
go.
you.
Yeah, very good job. So what can you tell us? I know it's a little bit of a ways away, but I think you guys finished production on it. It's wrapped. It's ready to go. Something you're excited about for 2018 season. What's something new that we can look forward to?
Well, I'm very excited because I got to actually start singing in the season because singing is where I actually started before I got on the show. Like I did talent shows at my public school, but they actually kind of got into our hobbies, us as people, the quads. So we got to kind of do our own things this season, which was super fun. And since I got to do a little singing, like I joined Glee Club, and it was super, it was super cool. And so we definitely all grow up a lot because within every season there's growing and stuff. Yeah. So I'm very excited for it. We do a lot of crazy stuff. I mean, the quads. I mean, we flood our school in the season and
so excited.
Jump out of planes.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
it's
very
gonna be
excited.
a lot of fun. Last thing I'm gonna ask before we go to audience Q&A was a final Instagram question as well. You had this really great post the other day about never being afraid to stand up to bullies and all these different things. It said a lot of great stuff, and it ended with a line saying that a new journey begins. And I'm just wondering, what are you looking forward to on the new journey? What are you looking forward to working on? I know we're going to sing this year. What other projects are you hoping to tackle in the next year?
Well, I'm very excited. I have some stuff in the works with good old Nickelodeon. So that is something that is currently being worked out right now. Have some stuff in 2018 that I'm excited for. Overall, just a lot of exciting stuff coming out. I mean, I can't say
it yet.
Of it,
All right,
but
well, hey, wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't.
Good stuff.
Wouldn't be doing my job. All right, I promised. I was talking to backstage. I wrote all the dates down. Here we go. We're gonna nail them. Halo Awards is Sunday, November 26th. All right. Tiny Christmas after that, Saturday. That's December 2nd, 8 p.m. on Nickelodeon. And then, of course, season 4, Nikki, Ricky, Dickie, and Dawn. That's next year, 2018. Keep an eye out. We'll get more information on that.
Awesome.
We're going to turn it over to the audience. We got a couple of microphones in the room. First question is going to be right here.
Hey, Lizzy.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
If you could star in any classic Nickelodeon TV show, which one would it be?
Drake and Josh. I would love to be Megan. That seems like it would be so fun.
That would be a ton of fun. Absolutely.
Yeah. I love Drake and Josh. It's one of the most classic Nickelodeon shows.
So funny. Another great example of wacky comedy and straight man, like perfect pairing of so great. But they would blend sometimes. They would go back and forth and trade off on who's wacky a little bit.
Yeah.
So much fun. Great answer. Next question right here.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
So you're still so young in this industry. I was wondering if you had any specific career goals.
Well, I would definitely love to sort of adventure into dramas maybe because I've been raised on comedy and Nickelodeon. So maybe in the later years do movies and maybe adventure sort of into the more serious subjects. I feel like that would be really amazing to sort of take a field trip from comedy and do something different. So definitely hope to be working on some fun stuff.
That would be really interesting to see, I think, especially after having seen you so comfortable with comedy for all these years and getting kind of to stretch those different muscles. Have you ever, I know it's really early in your whole journey to think about or talk about this, but have you ever thought of writing something or maybe one day directing something? Or
I have. I would actually love to major in film. For college, I would love to do that because I would love to kind of learn what goes on behind the scenes. For sure. Because I've only known what it's like in front of the camera. I would also love to know what it's like being behind the camera and working on being a producer or something like that. I feel like that would be really cool. So hopefully I would love to do that in college.
Dude, you got plenty of time. Don't worry.
Thank you.
I believe we only have time for one more question. Is that what? Yes, from here, and it's gonna be right here in the front.
Awesome.
Hi there.
Hi.
So in this project, you're obviously tiny. Is there anything you preferred about the tiny world as opposed to just being a normal human being?
Anything you prefer about the tiny world?
Ooh, I feel like food would go a much longer way when you're tiny. One potato chip could last you a week.
Giant piece of chocolate that you were chowing.
Oh, that would be amazing. Yeah.
Last forever.
I feel like it would be really fun because then you could make friends with the bugs. I don't know.
Your instinct was to make friends with with bugs. But you got to watch out. Giant cats.
Ooh, yes, that and humans.
Fair enough.
Normal size.
Normal size now. Giant humans.
Yeah.
Giant anything, honestly.
Yeah.
It starts off really fun, doesn't it? But
Yeah,
then
it
as you're
starts
there
off
longer
fun,
and
making
longer,
friends with the bugs, eating food, and then you have to worry about being trampled.
then the reality sets in that you're very tiny.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you all of that emotional roller coaster that we just went through. You get to live it in the film. It is, like I said, guys, it's so much fun. It is the perfect Christmas special. It's got all the stuff you want. It's got adventures, friendship, presents,
you.
elves, the whole nine. You guys nailed it. So
Thank you.
congratulations. I'll get the date in there for you one more time. Yep, that's right, December 2nd.